Hey everybody, good morning. Brian Anderson, and I've got Joe here with me. I think, Joe, are you there?
Hey, I'm here. Yeah, good morning. 10 a.m. webinar, man. I think this is a first for me.
This is, I think it might be a first for me too. I've done a lot of one-on-ones in the morning, but I've never done a webinar at 10 a.m. My
I think
West
the
Coasters are
early,
already sending me hate mail, Joe.
yeah, I think the
I'm getting
earliest
hate
is
mail.
11. I think the earliest is 11 for me that I've ran a webinar. So definitely an early one. Yeah, lots of hate mail from the West Coast.
Yeah, David Perkins. Let's see if David's here. If he's here, I'm sending him a prize. Let's see, David is he? Nope, not here. All right, good, David. I'm glad. I told him to sleep in. I said, look, dude, I'll have a replay. Don't feel compelled. But I got to tell you, everybody here, I flew down to meet with Joe and his team week before last, and then I flew out to not Spain to London to meet with some of Chris's team in their offices on this in April. So we've been working on this platform, on our bonuses, on our system for several months. Honestly, you could argue the whole year since our January meetup. So this isn't anything that we threw together. This has been something we've been lucky enough to be involved in for quite a while. And Joe and I both have a good relationship over many years with Chris and with Jay. So it just works. I mean, Joe, just speaking from like our masterminding about our agencies and stuff like that, going back 2012 maybe, everybody. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
this is like a 5 year evolution. Somebody goes, Brian, what's cool about it? And I'm like, well, what's cool about it is this is the exact technology used in their agency. So, I mean, this isn't JVZoo fluff. This is the real deal platform that's powered their growth in one of the largest cities in the world. They're in London, amongst other cities, but it's very interesting. I see a lot of Brits. Hey, Adrian, I see other Europeans on this call, so it's going to be a good mix because of the time zone today. Well, we don't want to waste everybody's time. It's early in the morning. Hey, Doug Starks, and what do you think, Joe? Let's see, you guys. We got a little special guest. We were gonna run the whole call ourselves, but we were very fortunate to get some extra help from Chris. And Chris is gonna start, and we're gonna hand it over and introduce Chris to you guys. But what's just as important is you don't want to miss what Joe and I are going to do when Chris concludes, and he's going to have a pretty busy day, so we're going to be mindful of his time. We we've got a few things for you I think you're going to want to see, so hang tight. Chris, are you here? Let's unmute Chris, guys.
Yep, I am here. I'm ready to rock.
All
Super
right,
excited.
guys, I'm going to turn it over. If you don't know Chris Munch, you're in for a treat. He's the CEO of Press Cable, along with his partner, Jay Cruz. He's built his agency. Some of you have been around the block a while. He built an agency focused around local search, and he's had a lot of high-end solutions, both software and training in that space. And what's cool about it is these guys, Chris and team, are walking the walk in a very big way in one of the larger markets in the world. So I'm excited about it. So, Joe, anything else? And let's do this thing.
Yeah, man. Ultimately, want to turn it over to Chris, but real quick, guys, this has been like a week in the making. You guys have been getting bot messages. You guys have been getting emails. You guys have seen our ads, I'm sure, all over the place. So we're finally here to launch day, and we got the co-creator himself, Chris Munch, here with us. So, guys, if you would please in the chat, just give Chris a big warm welcome. Like, let's blow up the chat. Let's make him know that we've all been waiting for today, and make him feel warm and welcome in the chat, please. And we'll get today underway.
All right, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Brian. Awesome. Loads of awesome comments coming in right now. So just want to make sure you can hear me clearly and you can see my screen. It says how I built a real 100K per year business using a breakthrough new approach that drives buyer traffic to any local business automatically in just 36 hours. Awesome. Yeah, lots of people can hear me, see my screen so good. And this is something, right, that is completely brand new, right? There's nothing like this before. It's the absolute first of its kind. I'm going to show you just very briefly what it looks like. So you see here, this is just literally exploding a local business by just putting it everywhere across the web. So I'm going to come back to this shortly. And it's incredibly powerful because we've been running test campaigns of this over the past few years because this has been hard to put together. There's been some crazy challenges to actually get it to the level that we've got today. And so the people, the early students that have been doing this have been making a lot of money, right? This is something that local businesses have never seen before. They've never experienced before. And you are 100% going to stand out. If you've never got clients, it's going to be a great way to get them, right? And if you have existing clients, it's going to be something else that you can sell. But more importantly, because they've never seen it before, because it's something that's so obvious that they are going to want, it's going to allow you to get clients in a very easy way. Okay. And so whether you're brand new to online business, whether you've got some experience, whether you've got a successful agency or business right now, this is going to be for you. Okay. And you can even use this platform. I'm going to focus on local today because I know the people that follow Brian, that follow Joe, that you guys talk a lot about local. That's the main thing that you focus on. It's the main thing I focus on. But this platform literally works for everything. You can use it to promote any offer. You can use it in affiliate marketing. You can use it in e-com. You can use it in anything. So my promise to you today is to give you a breakthrough new approach to start and grow a wildly profitable local marketing agency using a 3-step system that gets local businesses more customers doing something that has never been done before. If you stay to the end, I've got a free PDF mind map for you, which goes over this entire process. And if you want to get the most from this training, then get rid of all distractions, right? I can see already that the vast majority of people, because GoToWebinar gives me some stats, I can see that people are looking at their screen, they're paying attention, which is awesome. It shows that you are a great audience. And so phone on silent, grab a pen, make some notes. You can take screenshots as we go through. Now, it's important to note what I'm going to show you, you're going to see it and you're going to be thinking, wow, this is incredibly powerful. And you're going to see results from people who are very, very successful. But I want to be clear because it's important to be honest, to set the expectation that the results are not typical because most people don't follow through and take action, right? And so if you want to get in on this, you need to be prepared to put in the time to make it happen. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It can produce results incredibly quickly, right? But it takes work, okay? And so if you're only in this for yourself, if you're looking for like a get-rich-quick push-button thing, this isn't for you, okay? Every result I show you will come from someone who's put the work in. Okay, and what makes this different is I've spent a lot of time going through lots of different courses to make money online in lots of different ways, and just many of them, they're complicated, they are difficult, they don't last the test of time. The methods I'm showing you today are proven and it's been working for a long, long time. That essentially what the technique which I'm doing, I started doing in a similar form over 10 years ago, and I've been making money from this particular strategy in different niches, different ways for over a decade. Okay, this will never become saturated because it's based on proven business principles. So there's a little bit on screen about me, some interesting stats, maybe you want to read them, but it's not about me, this is about you. But just to give you an idea, I run a successful software company, it's made some good money, I've sold hundreds of thousands of digital and physical products, we've helped countless local businesses grow either ourselves or through the people that use our various platforms. And we helped a number of entrepreneurs, thousands of them, get started in growing their own online business. Now, I'm going to give you a quick little bit of history on how I got here because I think it's important so that you can relate to maybe the struggles I went through and more importantly, some of the mistakes that I made. And so when I started out, I was working like crazy because I wanted to do this online business thing. I left university, I had student debts, I didn't have a job, and I didn't want to go and get a day job. I'd had a bad experience doing that. And so I just started putting all my time, literally like 12, 15 hours a day, into trying to start an online business. And I had no money, so I was eating these noodles like almost every day, right? So not a healthy diet by any means. If I had a bit of extra cash, I'd throw some tuna in. But I was literally living on a few $100s per month. That part of this, I was on unemployment benefits. And this isn't a rags to riches story because I worked really, really hard and it took a long time. I tried a lot of different ideas, but I didn't get traction. So I made a lot of mistakes along the way. And I think after a year of just working like crazy, all I had to show for it was a few $100s per month. This was the car I was driving that was given to me by my family, right? And after doing this for a year, and not really getting anywhere, I expressed to my dad that this whole online thing wasn't really working, and he'd been quite supportive up until this point. And then he said, "Oh, what are you doing this? I don't think this is working. I think you should get a job." And so that really hit me. It really hurt. And so I didn't want to go back into getting a day job or anything like this. And so I came up with a compromise and I got a job working for AOL as a blogger, working for a very high traffic blog. And it was a blog network. It was a company that AOL had bought. They did millions upon millions of visitors every single day. And I was able to pay my bills, but I was learning at the same time. And then something truly amazing happened because I was learning from the founder of this company how he got traffic. And I thought, well, if he does it and he's telling me what to do, why don't I go do it? I mean, this is kind of obvious, right? If you see someone else doing something and it works, then you can do it too. And so I thought, I'm going to go and do this. And so I tried some of his amplification methods, right? Which was a way to get a lot of traffic or a lot of attention and to grow the site. And so I started my own site, prepared some things, and about a couple of weeks in, I launched one of these campaigns and I had 50,000 visitors in a single day. Actually, it was in 48 hours, 48,000 visitors in 48 hours. And that was over 10 years ago, right? And so I thought, wow, I'm really onto something with this method. And then I hit my first $1,000 day. It took me some more time to get there. But at that point, I was like, wow, I am really onto something right now. After all this hard work, so many mistakes, all the effort I put in, something now is really coming together and working. So I kept doubling down on this method, right? I wasn't teaching any courses. I wasn't selling anything to anyone. I was just making sites, driving traffic, and making money. And then I did some of this stuff for clients, and they paid me a lot of money as well, right? And so fast forward to today, and here's a screenshot from what I just recently earned in one of my affiliate accounts using this method, right? So like I say, this works brilliantly for local, but you can use it for affiliate stuff too. And this isn't earnings from my email list, because obviously I run a software company, I've got an email list. This is using the strategy which I'm about to share with you today. It's separate, it's a separate project. And here's the earnings from last year, right? And so it's done $78,000, okay? So $78,000 last year. And I only spend 1 hour on this every 3 months. Now, I'm not saying that you only need to put in 1 hour every 3 months. That's ridiculous. It's taken me 10 years to, put these systems and stuff in place, but I'm showing you what's possible for me as the person behind this. This is what I've done. And it's given me a lot of freedom to travel. So, I've met up with Joe, I've met up with Brian. We go to lots of events across the world. This is Jay, my business partner. And so we've been able to travel, just do amazing things. Actually, this picture here is in Cuba, which is where we first hung out with Brian and started all this off. And so it's an amazing thing that when you have an online business, whether you've got clients or not, it gives you that freedom. And I've been able to do this because I can drive a lot of traffic. So here's a couple of my sites here. I've got a number of them. Okay, so it's very, very powerful. And these aren't just my results, right? The people following this platform, following our methods. You've got Justin here. He's doing it with local businesses, 6 figures in a year. Adam, he did it with affiliate marketing, 6 figures in 11 months. He only did 11 campaigns, I think, to do this, 10 or 11 campaigns. And Brent, in just a couple of months, he was almost at 6 figures doing this. Really, really impressive. And Denka, right, he's been working on this for, I think, the past 9 months, and he's over 200K in revenue. So this is not a pipe dream. This is something that is attainable by everyone who wants to put the work in. So imagine when you've done this, just the impact that it's going to have on your life, right? And I learned a valuable lesson from my dad. And so this picture up on screen is my dad's local business, right? He builds kitchens. He's been doing it since he was young, since he was a teenager. He worked for his dad. He does it with his brother. Okay, this is a business, a family business they built themselves, second generation business. And when I was 18 years old, he was extremely ill. He was trying to save the business. The business had got into debt from some mistakes from his father, from some struggles that the business had gone through. and he had to save the business. He had to save the business and his family home. And so he was working like crazy, but he was underneath very, very sick from the stress. And it was actually ended up being a life-threatening condition. So you can't see it very well on the screen, but there's a little bit of yellow here is a protector over a rotating saw that would cut your finger off in seconds. And so he's working on machines like this. And like every 20 minutes, he's going to the bathroom to throw up. And so one is like when a business can't get enough customers, this is what some of the founders are going through. It's painful, right? And so it was painful for me to watch. But also it represented as well, and something he shared with me is, make sure you choose a career. You choose to do something that gives you freedom. He wanted me to travel. And so I had that vision. And you know what's really cool is the method that I'm going to share with you today is a method that grew his business, because we started doing campaigns for him like over the years and they've got better and better. And so we are able to get him more customers, more exposure with the methods that we have. And it's very, very easy to do. So it's great that I can pay my dad back in that way. And so I have an important question for you before we dig in. We're about to get started and jump in. And my question to you is, what is your why? Why are you here? Why are you doing this? Right? And there's a reason why I'm asking this, because I'm here to help you succeed. Brian and Joe, they're here to help you succeed. And the people who are most likely to succeed are the people who have a strong reason why they are doing this, why you're here today, why you're trying to grow your online income and your online business. So please type into the chat box just quickly what your reason is for being here, what it is that you're doing, what's the why behind it. Maybe it's family, right? Maybe it's that you want to travel. Maybe it's some kind of freedom. Just type into the chat box, and the more detailed, the better. The more like you connect with this, the more you're able to motivate yourself and the more you are able to push through and make this stuff happen. Just type in the chat box. So, Brian, I don't know if you want to read some of these out as we go through, Brian or Joe.
Yeah, a lot of them are streaming in right now. We've got family, we've got income freedom that James said, lifestyle, Brand said, David said, providing, I like this, a substantial and stable income for my family. Keyword on stable. Freedom from working a job, Brent. Klaus said, building a life in spite of my handicap. David lost a large pension due to company bankruptcy. Heart attack. Gavin's fighting back from a heart attack. Building systems, residual income. My friend Irina now in Florida, Irina, family, residual income, and the ability to travel a lot. So they're all streaming in, you guys. Evan, I love yours, but I won't read it. So all of you guys, there's commonality across 5 or 6 of these if you look at them. Their freedom, whether it's time, income, health, travel, take care of my family, take care of my spouse. Everybody's always aligned very similarly. So thanks, Chris.
Yeah, I'll just show up on screen here. I'm not going to show the names, but I'm going to show some of the stuff typed in so you can see. There's lots of people on here just typing stuff in right now. I got a cool little trick in GoToWebinar. I can show you the chat box, which I see. So yeah, we're pretty busy today. So yeah, I appreciate everyone sharing that. And this is so important. And when I started out, travel was my big thing. I was young at the time. Right now it's different. I got a family, so my priorities have changed. And in my business, right, the reason I'm in this business because I've kind of reached financial freedom now, right? So I have a lot of choices in what I can do, but I love what I do because we help so many people to grow their business, right? And the roadblocks and the challenges that I faced, I know them, I know how to get past them, and it's a pleasure for me to help people move in the right direction and get results in the quickest way possible. Okay, so you might be thinking, well, what are some of the common roadblocks that stop you from growing an agency, to stop you from having an online business? Well, there's money, ability, confusion, overwhelm, and time, right? These are all common problems which we face. And the system I'm about to reveal to you eliminates all 5 of these, right? It's very precise, right? So you don't get overwhelmed. There's a limited amount of things to work on. And because a lot of the work has been done for you, it takes less time, right? And it's profitable, it makes money, and it's a simple process. Okay, so you might be like, hey, Chris, you've been talking for like a little bit over 15 minutes. Just tell me what this stuff is. So let's dig in. right, to how this all works. And so what I'm going to cover today is the 3 secrets of the 100K shout out system. Okay, so the 3-step process to get any business seen everywhere online with a handful of simple campaigns. And it literally takes minutes to put these together. Okay, you're going to be all over the place. This is amazing. And how to find businesses that will pay you for this and how to get them chasing you, right? This is something that no one else can do because they're not able to deliver what we can deliver. So this is something that really grabs the attention of the business. And secret number 3 is how to unlock the best source of buyer traffic for any local businesses, the most superior form of traffic for businesses by far. And there's like undeniable proof of this. Okay, so secret number 1, then let's dive in, the 3-step process to get any business seen everywhere and do that very quickly. Now, you already know that the local marketing industry is growing. You want to be riding a wave of growth. It's going to make it easier for you to make money when you're in an industry that's continuing to spend more and more money and it's growing. So businesses are spending more and more on advertising every year. There's millions upon millions of businesses. In the US alone, it's 30 million. Across the English-speaking world, it's over, I think it's about 42, 45 million. And there's like 500,000 new businesses starting every month. So there's a mass of opportunities. So you might be wondering, well, why would I share this? Why not go out and just sell it myself? Well, I do sell it myself, but I can't reach millions of businesses in countless different industries. So that's why we like to work with people like you. Okay, and so what's the number 1 factor? The critical factor that every business needs is fairly obvious. Businesses need more customers, right? And so to get more customers, they need you because businesses aren't good at marketing. They just don't have the time. Just like my dad working away in the workshop, he hasn't got time to do marketing. He's busy fulfilling customers. He's busy putting out fires. He's busy solving the problems in the business, doing the taxes, doing the books, all these different things that business owners are stressed out with. They need you to help them. And the most successful businesses out there can be found everywhere, both online and offline, right? And we call this omnipresence. Okay? And so omnipresence is really the ability to be present everywhere. It's being seen everywhere. It's being widely encountered. Okay, and if you think of businesses which are very popular in your area, you often just see and hear them everywhere. They might be on the radio, online, and things like this. Like take Domino's as an example, right? How far are you right now from a Domino's pizza shop? Right, I live on an island in the Mediterranean and Domino's has just come here. So it's like I'm 20 minutes away, right? But like, you know, like if you're in the UK, you're in the US, Domino's is very, very close. It's omnipresent. You see it everywhere. It's a very, very well-known brand. Okay? And so the more you're exposed to something, the more you're used to it. And because we're bombarded with so many different messages, for a business to stand out, for a business to get traffic, for a business to be successful, it needs to be omnipresent. So the more that you can make a business appear everywhere, the better it's going to be. Because the reality for most businesses, the reality for most websites, whatever it is that you're doing online, is that there's a lot of competition. And you might be putting out content, you might be trying to do marketing, but no one is seeing your stuff. It's like no one's listening to you. It's like being in space. Nobody can hear you scream. So if we can solve how to be seen and heard online and how to get a lot of traffic from a lot of places, including the best source of traffic, then that's an amazing problem to solve, right? So how would you go about doing this? Well, here's the old way. This is kind of similar to what I used to do. Okay, like Instagram wasn't around at the time, but you know, you get the idea. But today, this is what you'd have to do is you need to put out content that's going to be found in Google. You need to be on Facebook. You need to be on Instagram. You need to be on YouTube. You need to be blogging. You need to be podcasting, right? In fact, you're told to be everywhere. But imagine trying to do that. It's like hard enough to just master one of these channels, yet you're being told to be on all these different places, right? It's crazy. And then at the same time, you're told to focus on one thing. Right? Because if you focus on one thing, you can be successful. Like I've heard that a lot from many gurus, but at the same time, you're being told to be everywhere. And at the same time, you're being told to diversify your income streams, to diversify your traffic streams. So it's all very conflicting information. And in the end, people are trying to do too much. They're on this hamster wheel of just trying to do all these different things and they're not getting anywhere. And the reality is, if you want to be heard online and you want to do it quickly, this is what you need to do. Okay, you need to be on multiple platforms. right? You need to be on Facebook, you need to be on YouTube, you need to be on Google. And if you think of anyone or anything popular online, you see this, they're all over the place, right? And to be on all these different platforms, it means you're going to need to have different mediums like videos, articles, audio. But if you produce all this stuff and you just put it out there on your own website, on a Facebook account that nobody's following, nobody's going to see you. So you need to leverage existing authority. Like you can be on YouTube, they've got an audience, but you can also be on existing sites that have existing audiences to shortcut this process so you don't have to build up an audience yourself. And you want to be able to do this in the quickest way possible with the minimum effort because we've only got a limited amount of time in the day, right? So obviously this is a big challenge. And so how can local businesses, or how can you be everywhere without, spending a huge amount of time they don't have learning all of these platforms or spending a load of money to actually make this happen? What happens if you had a single platform that solves all four of these problems and does it for you? So that's what I'm talking about today. And this is how it's done. Number one, create. Number two, amplify. Number three, deliver. This is a three-step process to get a business seen everywhere online. And literally, you do this in minutes because it's all done automatically. And so all you will need to do to make this happen is actually fill out a simple form, right? Just a simple form, fill it out, hit a button, and then the platform kicks into play, and it's going to advertise the business, whatever it is you want to advertise, across 400 high traffic websites automatically. This is what it looks like. You're going to have videos on YouTube and Vimeo. You're going to have a slideshow on SlideShare. You're going to have audio snippets in podcast directories describing the business and linking to the business. You're going to have high traffic blogs. These are real blogs with real audiences, right? It's going to be posted on these blogs and it's going to be put across a number of news sites, right? And we recently just got a deal with USA Today to publish there as well, right? So, you're talking big brand name news sites. Many of these sites have millions of visitors every single month. This is exceptionally powerful. You are all over the place. It's crazy. And so then the business within 36 hours of you submitting this campaign is going to have traffic. Okay, and we're going to dig into this a little bit more of what it looks like because I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of just how powerful this is. Okay, so let's do the math and work out what is possible here, right? So, one client can be spending $1,000 per month. It's fair for them to do that. I mean, you look at how much you are doing for them, $1,000 per month is actually a very, very low price. We have people who charge $10,000 a month as businesses. And you can see here that you don't need many clients to hit 6 figures per year, right? And so imagine what you could do by just getting a small number of clients paying you $1,000 per month. And so if I gave you access to this brand new platform that lets you create these campaigns in just 6 minutes, how many of them would you create? How much money could you deliver, right? The potential here is very, very huge. And this is so powerful because literally we're just doing 9 campaigns, right? You can produce a 6-figure income. So that's 9 campaigns every single month. And this is recurring income, right? Because businesses pay you every month and you don't need the marketing experience because it's all done for you. And you don't need to be based in the US or in Europe. You can be anywhere in the world. You can travel as you do this. Okay. And so you might now be thinking, well, okay, that's great. I can see this is super powerful and this can grow businesses and it makes sense. But actually, how am I going to find these businesses and how will I get them to pay? Okay, so how to find businesses now. This is secret number 2 that are going to pay you $500 to $2,000 per campaign and actually get them chasing you. Okay, now the biggest mistake that many people make is targeting the wrong industry. So here's a car wash service and what they charge, right? It's a few dollars. And here's a roofing company, by contrast, that charges thousands of dollars. And so which would you prefer, right? As a client, a car wash where like the average cost might be, a few dollars, $6, $10, $15, $20, or a roofing company where the average client value is like in the thousands of dollars. I think it's a fairly obvious right answer, right? You're going to be able to make a bigger impact for this business, and this business is going to be able to pay you more money. So that's the first thing. Okay. And then what to be aware of is that most businesses are spending over $1,000 per month on online marketing, right? And there's many that pay even more. And so here, where this business is paying 2,000 or 5,000 or more than 10,000, they're going to be in the more lucrative niches. So it's very important to pay attention to. Okay. And most businesses are planning to increase their spending. Okay. And so there's a little bit of a challenge because obviously there's a level of competition, right? And so you want to make sure that when it comes to your campaigns, that you're able to get them results because you're not in some super hyper competitive niche, right? This is known as what you can see here, the blue ocean strategy. Here, the ocean has turned red because of all the rivalry and the cutthroat tactics, right? Competition is not good. Competition gets in your way, right? Competition forces you to work harder. And so you want to be working in a blue ocean. So one reason you're working in a blue ocean right here is because you have something that nobody else has, right? If you use this platform, then nobody else is doing it. You're the first through the door, and so no business has seen this, and so you're the first through the door. But it goes a little bit deeper than that as well, because you also want to find hidden competitive businesses or hidden blue ocean opportunities where you're even in competitive niches like dentists and lawyers. Okay. So if you are doing promotional work for dentists and lawyers, you would know that, they pay a lot of money, but it's actually quite competitive. And so how do you get around that? And so how do we find these hidden angles and ways to promote dentists, for example, without, going up against massive competition? Well, the way that we do it is we search for HOGOs, which is hidden opportunities and golden offers. And so rather than looking where everyone else is looking, right, we look at some of the hidden opportunities, and there's literally thousands upon thousands of them. And this is where we start. And gradually, as we stack more and more traffic from these little known opportunities of ways to promote, for example, dentists, then all of a sudden the popularity just kicks in, the omnipresence really kicks in, and we end up also doing extremely well on the more competitive areas too. Okay, so this is something that we dive into. And so ultimately you want high customer value, you want repeat customers, and you want to find a way to get in there with low competition. Okay, and so the top niches that we've identified are up on screen. You are welcome to take a screenshot. And so you can see that these are industries where people spend a lot of money. The lifetime value of the client is very, very high. Okay, so I'll give you just a second just to take a screenshot of this or write it down if you wanted to. But the point here is all of these niches right here can pay you a lot of money. And we show you the exact strategy, and hopefully we'll have time at the end. I'll be able to give you a little bit of an example here of just how you can get into all of these industries and gradually just work your way up to domination. It's very, very, very powerful and have a massive impact on the business. Okay, so what you can charge. So chiropractors up to 1,000, plumbing companies up to 1,000, dentists even more, roofing companies even more, cosmetic surgeons even more. This is just a rough guide, right? And these are monthly costs. And for a dentist, for example, if they get just 3 new patients per month, then you're driving them an additional $13,000 in revenue. So you don't have to make a massive impact, right, in terms of the amount of new clients or the amount of traffic to actually get them very, very, very big results. And so when you see this omnipresence, this ability to just put them everywhere online, you can see how this will really work. Okay, so a quick question for you. Do you think that dentists would be happy to pay $1,000 for $13,500, in revenue every single month, right? And this is, it's a simple question. And, for me, generally, we're looking to get businesses like 10, 20, 30, 40 times ROI with what we're doing for them. And as you go through this presentation, as we move in deeper, you will begin to see just the massive impact this has, because I haven't even covered all of it yet. Okay. But the first thing we need to address is how you can get businesses to pay you in the first place. Okay, so here's a question for you. If you sent a business an email asking if they wanted their business to be featured in the USA Today, do you think you'd get a good level of interest? Right? Just answer in the chat box what you think. You know, a lot of you that follow Brian and Joe, you're quite experienced with this stuff. So what do you think? If you sent them an email just asking if they'd be interested in being featured on the USA Today, do you think you might get a response? Cool. So yeah, lots of yeses coming in. Roger says probably not in Australia, but you'd be surprised. We've got like an interesting story of a business that blew up in Australia because they got featured on US news sites. Okay, and this is just one of the ways in which you can go about it. Okay, but you can understand already that this is a little bit different. Okay, so we've got a variety of strategies. This isn't exactly what we do because I can't share it here with everyone. This is like for our members only. But we have email templates that attract clients every single month, right? You can send these out over LinkedIn. You can send them by email. You can ping a business on Facebook. Very, very simple. So if you had access to this email templates, how many of them could you send a day? Okay. And if you were 100% committed, do you think that you could send every single day, just start sending out emails or Facebook messages? This is all it is, Facebook messages, LinkedIn messages. Do you think you can commit to sending out an email or a question like I just mentioned to 10 businesses a day? Okay, and that's the minimum. You know, our most successful people send out a lot more. Right, and I'm sure Brian and Joe have some very, very genius ideas of how to take this even further too. Right, and so, you know, essentially the minimal challenge for you, like over the next 90 days, is to be sending out a lot of emails. Just 10 emails a day adds up to 900 emails. Okay, 5% response rate. You've got 45 people you're having a conversation with, which you can convert into 9 clients. Right, this is how you work your way up to 6 figures. This is the math of what you need to do. So it's very powerful, right? And this is great because you're only focusing on one thing, which is getting clients, sending out emails. Okay, right? And finding then the hidden angles to promote the businesses in the first place. And you get instant access to a template library filled with dozens of proven income generating emails. And you'll have businesses coming to you ready to buy because it's something they've never seen before. And businesses understand that media exposure generates business, and you're getting them all over the internet. Okay, and there's so many businesses out there, you've got just such a massive opportunity. Okay, so now you might be wondering, well, okay, it makes sense, I can see how I can get clients, I can see how the system works, but what are the results for clients? What does it really look like, and how does this just absolutely blow things up for them? Okay, so this brings us now to secret number 3, which is how to unlock the number 1 best source of buyer traffic for any local business in just 36 hours. So my question to you is, what is the number 1 biggest source of new customers for a local business? Okay, just type it in the chat box. And Brian or Joe, you're welcome to read out the answers just while I take a sip of water here.
Let's see, we got referrals, Big G, word of mouth, local search, Facebook, Google, referrals, Google, word of mouth, Facebook, Google search.
Mm-hmm. Peter says a tourist bus. I like that. Nice. And so the biggest source of new customers for a local business is Google, right? Especially when it comes to online marketing. And you might question this, but let me explain. So here are the top 15 US sites in the world. You might notice a few porn sites in there. That's no surprise. But what's more important, you look at the number 1, which is Google, right? How much more traffic it gets than Facebook and how much more traffic it gets than YouTube, right? It just absolutely dominates. absolutely dominates. And what this comes down to is Google ends up owning 90% of internet traffic, right? And so imagine that you can get massive exposure over Google, because I'm about to show you how it works, and you get exposure on YouTube, and you've got content going out on Facebook, which all happens with this platform, by the way, right? Like you've got the top 3 sites covered here, but more importantly, you've got the biggest one in the world. And what's special about Google is people go to Facebook typically to be entertained. They go to YouTube to be entertained. They go to Facebook to socialize, to look at cat pictures, picture the babies, things like this. People go to Google to find information, right? Or to find a business. Like if you're looking for a restaurant, you typically type it into Google, right? That's what you do. Facebook is interruption marketing, right? So it's less targeted. Google is actually people coming to you looking for what they want. And Google dominates in traffic. And the biggest, absolute biggest source of traffic for local businesses is a 3-pack, right? Essentially the first 3 listings on Google Maps. If a business gets in here, it's typically doing exceptionally well. And by getting a business into the 3-pack, you can literally double or triple their business, right? Sometimes you have to be careful because they get so much business that they can't keep up with the new customers, okay? And so the local 3-pack shows in the #1 spot in 93% of Google searches, right, for these local searches. So it's so important. And the 3-pack gets more clicks than ads and organic results combined. It's where the traffic comes for local businesses. So these local searches then lead to a purchase. This is just huge, huge for local businesses. So how do you get a business onto the local 3-pack, right? Well, this is how you used to have to do it. Link building, on-page optimization, Google Maps optimization, citations, content marketing, SEO analysis, and a lot more, right? And this stuff works. It can be difficult, it can be hard work, but it works. It takes a lot of time, it can cost a lot of money, and it also changes all the time because Google updates its algorithm. So this can be very, very difficult. I know SEO very well. I do my best to avoid it because it's hard, right? You're fighting a losing battle in the end with Google. And so who's got time to be doing this for all these different clients? Like you could have 3 clients and be working full time. You've really just taken on another day job. You might get paid some good money, but it's a lot of work to do. And so how can you just keep up with all this stuff? It's changing all the time. Essentially, it's overwhelming. And what I've discovered, right, and I discovered this a long time ago, and so I've been doing things differently for a long time, is that Google is more simple than you think. It's both exceptionally complicated and exceptionally advanced and has all this crazy computations going on, but really it's simple because it's trying to just simply give people what they want and understand what makes a business popular, okay? And so if Google sees a business or a website getting mentioned all across the internet and getting traffic from lots of different sites, not links, right? Links are important, but getting traffic from lots of different sites, right? And especially big brand sites, it pays attention. And Google absolutely love brands, right? They understand that brands have a massive connection with people. It's part of our psychology. And so if you're not a big brand, Google's not going to pay attention to you. And so how do you give the indication that a local business is a big brand? Well, you start associating it with big brands by putting it on big brand sites like USA Today, for example. And then Google starts to think, after seeing it on YouTube, on USA Today, on SlideShare, on NBC 24, right, and podcasts, it's like, okay, maybe I should be paying attention to this business. Maybe I should reward it. We sometimes see businesses just fall into the 3-pack literally in 2 or 3 days in the lower competition towns. It's crazy. And Google just loves this whole omnipresence. And so look at what's going on here, right? You've got content ranking in Google from all these different places. So the YouTube video ranks in Google, the slideshow, it ranks in Google, the podcasts, they rank in Google, the blogs, they rank in Google. And this isn't the same content, this is different content. You've got the news articles ranking in Google, showing up in Google News, right? It's crazy. You are just literally all over. So not only are all these individual digital assets that you put out all over Google, as well as sending traffic themselves, like sending traffic from YouTube, sending traffic from the podcast directories, sending traffic from the slideshows, right? Sending clicks through to your clients, to your business, to whatever offer it is you're promoting. It's also saying this business is important. Google, you should start paying attention. And without doing any SEO, without doing anything else, just doing these amplification, these omnipresence campaigns, these shout outs, you will land in the Google 3-pack within 1 to 6 months. Okay? Now, not necessarily for any keyword that you ever desire. For example, dentist New York, right? You might need to do a little bit more work for the most competitive, niches and cities in the world. But in a city or an area under 250,000 people, we guarantee within 6 months it'll be in the 3-pack if you follow our training and our steps. We guarantee it because it happens 99% of the time, and the 1% of the time it doesn't, we take a look at what's going on and we help you solve that problem. Okay? And there's no SEO, you don't even do the marketing work, right? And so this is absolutely insanely powerful. And so we still got a lot to get through. Brian and Joe want to jump in and tell you some things about this as well. So we're very, very limited on time. I appreciate you being here for nearly an hour already. So just a quick question, just answer in the chat box. Do you want me to just quickly show you how this platform works and just how simple it is? If you want to, then I will go ahead. I'll put it on screen. I'll show you if I get enough yeses in the chat.
Yeah, Chris, the chat is freaking blowing up. We're getting a lot of yeses, but quite frankly, a lot of hell yeses and some other explicitives.
All right, awesome. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a video up here because it just makes it a bit easier for me to talk while I take you through this. I'm just going to play this video up on screen here and take you through. Okay, so I'm hitting play. Right, you can see what you do is you're going to create one of these new amplification campaigns. You click create it for me. We'll do all the work. Okay, gives you some little intro information. All you have to do here is just fill in a couple of bits of information. You want to say what it's going to discuss, maybe the URL or the URL, like where you want to link to, right, the URL of the business, and what you might want to focus on, like the specific topic. Okay, that's all the information we need. Then you give us some images from the business, which you can just take from the business website. If you're promoting an affiliate offer, e-com offer, you can just grab some images. So we did this for our own platform. If you Google us, you'll see that we're all over the internet when you search for amplifier. And there's some really cool things which we did, which I'm just not going to have time to go over today. You then choose your category of what the business is in. This affects some of the sites and categories that it will be published to. And then you essentially fill in the company information, right? So just their website, their phone number. This actually acts as a citation. If you know SEO, you end up with a bunch of citations. Okay, then you can choose whether just to publish it or if you want to review the content first, and then you just go ahead and you can submit, or you can have us also do it every single month, right? So it's that simple. And how long did that take to do? That happened in literally 1 minute, 29 seconds. Okay, then our software goes ahead and does this for you. Okay, and so I've been doing stuff like this for over 10 years, but not to this level, right? I used to have to do a lot of this stuff manually. I wasn't always like doing videos. I didn't always have access to some of these big name sites. It's taken me time to make that happen, right? And so we've got distribution deals, right? Automation to publish on these websites, automation to recreate the content. We've got editors and marketers and keyword research people in place to put this content together, to repurpose it, right? So there's a mix of also artificial intelligence, which helps rewrite some of this stuff with the help from editors. So you've got software automation, artificial intelligence, right? This stuff wasn't available even a year or two ago, right? So this is brand new and exceptionally powerful. This is literally cutting edge right now. So if I bring back up my presentation, right, this took 90 seconds to do. And just tell me in the chat box, because we've been working on this. There's a team of us, 25 people behind it, right? And we've been just working like crazy just to make this happen, make it more powerful. We're still working on it right now. So just let me know in the chat what you think of this. Do you think that it's awesome? What do you think about this? Just let me know in the chat. Awesome. Irina says this is a beast. Rick says amazing. Yeah, awesome. Just lots of comments coming in. So James asks, is this a press release software? No, this is a omnipresent software, right? Videos on press releases, slideshows on press releases, blog posts on press releases. There's lots of content in here going to all sorts of different sites. We've got deals, automations going all over the place. German Gonzalez says, what about promoting Amazon products? Yes, of course. So this is absolutely crazy just what it can do for you. So you're able to boost traffic for absolutely any business in just 36 hours. You don't need to spend months creating content, building backlinks or any of this stuff, and you'll be able to retain your clients for a long time, right? So typically, like that's over, like a year and a half. But if you follow our training, you pick the right clients, it's like the goal is to be locking in these clients for life, right? And you'll have zero competition because no one else has access to this secret tool. Okay, so here's what I covered today. This was my promise to go through these 3 secrets: how to get businesses seen everywhere, right? How to find businesses that will pay you, right? $500 to $2,000 per campaign, and how to unlock the best source of buyer traffic in just 36 hours. So just a quick question for you. I know there's questions coming in. I will do my best to answer them, especially at the end as we go into Q&A. But a quick question, did I keep my promise? Did I cover those 3 secrets? Do you get them? Do you understand the overview of how this works and to see the power? So just before I move on, I just want to make sure that we're all clear. So if I get enough yeses that come in, we'll move on to the next part. Okay, awesome, lots of yeses coming in. And I just asked, there's a few people on the call, you're watching, I can see people are very, very attentive. There's a lot of people just paying attention and watching, but not everyone's jumping in the chat box. And so what I'm sharing with you is very, very powerful. Been working over this, for a long, long time. It's literally a game changer. And so if you've got questions, if I ask you questions, it'd be cool if we can interact, because we're all going to learn more from each other, right? And so we will have a Q&A session at the end too. So we have created a comprehensive package that will work you through how to create a hands-off 6-figure income stream using the exact system I showed you today. Okay, I know some of you want to have a look at some examples of this. I'm going to show you just towards the end. I don't have it in my slide deck, but I will come to that at the end so you can see it. But what I want to tell you about right now is just this entire package which puts everything together so that you can use this to grow a very simple hands-off agency where you're not even doing the marketing work. And so this is introducing the 100K Shoutout. And so if you want to build a passive, scalable 6-figure business to help businesses get more customers and learn how to drive an unstoppable flow of buyer traffic to these businesses so that you can finally start to grow an agency to get these payments and live a life that you want with the freedom to live life on your own terms, then the 100K Shoutout is specifically for you. It includes the software, the training, the support, even coaching, and the tools that you need. Okay, it's a 6-week live training course, and what I've decided to do is actually extend this out to 12 weeks because I get people asking me about e-com, about local, about affiliate, and so we're going to cover all of this stuff. Okay, right? It's going to give you everything on how to set up and scale this and make money. So we're going to be covering a mix of different things. So we'll be looking at the best industry for profits, how to pick a profitable niche, the critical fuel to generate maximum profits, a keyword formula that we use, how to optimize your shout out campaigns, and how to stack recurring payments. This is just the first 6 weeks. We're going to be looking at how to use it in affiliate marketing, and we're going to look very, very deeply how to look at it, how to do it in local. And we've got a number of 6-figure success stories, right? And the stuff which I'll be sharing in local no one else is going to be doing. It's completely different and it's very, very, very unique. So I've only really scratched the surface of it today. Okay, and I put the date in my slide because I literally just put these together. But we're starting and enrolling right now because this is a live training course that starts next week. And so you need to enroll now to lock in your place. If you don't enroll, we start, you miss out. Okay, and we'll be closing the doors very, very soon. And, this has driven 6 figures for Adam, like I showed you before. Just in 60 days, $65,000 for Brent. He went over to do, well over 6 figures. 6 figures in local client payments. This was Justin, and this one here for Denka, right? I showed you these ones before with a picture of their faces and so on. So whether you're getting started, whether you're an experienced digital marketing consultant, whether you're an agency owner and you want to systemize, right, have something which you can sell, which is simple, repeatable, then this is very, very powerful for you. And so by the time you finish the training, you can confidently expect to track and hit a $1,000 run rate. And so here's what you're getting, right? The course. And then also I'm going to include the software for free, right? That allows you to publish to high traffic blogs, to news articles, to YouTube and Vimeo with videos, to publish slideshows, to getting Google News, right? Doing podcasts, right? Getting on Facebook and Twitter, okay? All literally in minutes. Okay, you won't need to hire article writers. You won't need PR distribution or audio equipment or to do setting up videos, animation software, or graphic designers, anything like this. Okay, and this is something that we've spent over $1 million in investment and 5 years developing. Okay, so this is the real deal. There is nothing else like it out there, and you will be given unprecedented access to this platform. And this is so new that we are only now going live with our brand new public version as of today, like literally today. Okay. And if you're still not sure if you can really do this, like it sounds like that it might be complicated, something like this, but remember, we do all the marketing work for you. Okay. We've got a sales team of experts that do all this for you. So what I'm going to do is include 35 credits, right, for you today, right? If you jump in and you buy now, we'll be throwing in these 35 credits. Okay, normally will be 30, right? Because it's Brian, because you're here live, right? If you jump in now and take action and you're the first group of people, the first 30 to come through, it's going to be 35 credits. Okay, and you literally do what I showed you in that video. It takes a couple of minutes, and then our team, our software, our platform, our technology goes ahead and makes the content and distributes it for you. We handle the keyword research side of it, the writing, the marketing, it's all done inside the platform. And normally these are $349 per campaign. That's what we sell, right? One at a time. And when we sell it to businesses, we sell it at minimum $500, but usually $1,000 or more per campaign. Okay, which is why, people can buy it at 349, sell it onto a business at 1,000, make a tidy profit. And so the fact that I'm including 35 today is insane, right? So one of these credits gets you one done for you campaign, everything done. 35 gives you 35 done for you campaign. Now, what makes us the best is we're a professional in-house team of content marketers, copywriters, lead gen experts, and we've been doing this for a long time. And we've got our own clients that we manage. We've got client campaigns from agencies that we manage, and we've been doing this in multiple different niches, in fact a lot more than 20. And so you'll get access to all of this. And so what happens when you run out of credits? Well, don't worry, you can lock in more credits at the discounted rate, right, which gives you 94% profit margin. So you can optionally do that if you want to after you join. Okay, and so what else do you need? So the information, the tools, the software will only get you so far. And the most important component really is that you need to be around people that know what you're doing, because most people fail because they're in an environment, right? Maybe friends and family don't really understand what they do. Maybe they've got a lack of expert guidance. So you need someone in your corner. You need people in your corner. So success thrives in an environment of support, but withers and dies in an environment without it. And so I know exactly what this feels like, because when I got started out, I wasn't surrounded by people who were there to essentially help me. They didn't really understand what I was doing. And so once I started hanging out with successful people, I too became so successful. That's why it's great to be on calls like this with Joe and Brian, because they're incredibly smart at what they do. And so you need to be in a community of people that speak the same language as you. You need to be around people that lift you up and encourage you. And that's why we created the 100K Shoutout Mastermind. So we've got calls every month. We've got Q&As, right? You get help with everything that you need to do with your campaigns. You've got an accountability partner. You get support, okay? All these different things. And so this is a growing community. Like, it's over 11,000 members now, and they're all doing and succeeding the exact same thing that you should be doing, right? And so they can help you and move you forward and answer your questions. So the mastermind is included, but also, right, to make sure nobody gets left behind, this is structured as a 90-day challenge. So you're going to get essentially step-by-step videos, live workshop, checklists, weekly assignments, all this stuff, right, to push you forward. We'll be doing competitions along the way, right, to make sure that you succeed, okay? And if you get stuck, we take it to an even higher level, and you get access to our email coaching, right? This isn't support, because support is like, how do I get my login details, or where do I find this information? This is someone, right? I've got Angel and Jason, who are our coaches in the team, who will come in and will look at your problem and will tell you what to do. If you're like, what do I say to this client, or how should I structure this campaign? They will look at your issue in detail and help you. This is coaching over email to get you where you need. If you're not sure what next step to do, they come in and help you. So you've got the community and you've got email coaching at the same time, right? It's absolutely huge value that you get this unlimited email coaching. Okay, so at this point, you're probably thinking, wow, this is crazy. There's so much that's involved here. So what's the price? Okay, because it's not just a course. This is a step-by-step program that results in hands-off passive income. Because once you've got the clients, right, the campaigns are done for you. And so then you're just delivering essentially reports to clients on the results. So there's very, very little work to do. Like, it's about, 30 minutes to an hour per month to manage one client. So if you've got 10 clients, it's 10 hours per month or less, right? And you can bring it even further down than that. We show you how to do it. So one of these campaigns, right, a month, just doing one campaign a month, right, that you get charged $1,000 to a business for, is $12,000 per year. And so if all this did was finally give you a proven system that allowed you to grow an online business or an agency, right, would it be worth it? If it gave you the ability to find the right niches, right, to find products to sell, if you want to work on this outside of the local space, would it be worth it? If it allows you to essentially have financial freedom, would this be worth it for you? And so you can see this would be a great deal at $12,000. And we sell this to agencies, right? We sell this platform, these services to agencies at much higher prices, and we sell them to businesses to much higher prices. But you're not going to pay $12,000, right? You won't pay $10,000. You won't pay $5,000. You can grab it right now for $2,497. So $2,497, or you can optionally do the split pay, right? You get a discount if you pay up front. So right now you've got two choices. You can go it alone and be trying to figure out all this stuff which I've just shown you, which you can appreciate is a lot of work. And maybe you can keep spinning your wheels. Maybe you're not where you want to be and you just continue down that path. Or choice number two is you learn the proven system from a team of experts that have not only done it themselves, but taught this stuff over the years to thousands of people, right? And your investment today is 100% risk-free, right? Normally, if a product has a guarantee, it's 30 days. I wanted to give you more time, right? 60 days. So 60 days, you've got a guarantee here. And I'm going to do something very special, right? You can come in, you can take part in the live training, for the next couple of months. You can use our platform, you can put out campaigns, you can make money with this. And then if you decide, hey, this isn't for me, you can request your investment back and we'll give you a spot to someone else. Okay, because once we close, there's going to be a waiting list for people to come in. So if it's not for you, you can give up your spot. We'll give you the investment back, and you get to keep all that stuff. Those campaigns, we're not going to take them down. They're going to stay there forever. The money you made is yours. The knowledge you learned from the course will be yours. So I'm really taking the risk out because I'm so confident in what I've got that I know you'll stick with me. And so the real question is this: is it worth taking just a few minutes of time just to check this out and see if it will work for you? And so here's what to do next, right? If you go to the page, there's the two options, right? And so you choose either the 2497 option, right, where you're going to save $500 by paying in full, or you can take the 3Pay. Okay, these are all one-time payments, okay, and you get continuing access to the platform. Okay, and so there's some limitations because this is the only time I'll be delivering this training live, and so you do need to enroll now, okay? Because this is going to be live, you need to claim your spot in the training. So for the first 30 people that take action, one, you're going to be getting the 35 credits instead of the 30, right? Those 5 credits are worth, a couple of $1,000s themselves, right? And I'm going to throw in the case study. So what happens, right? And what's going to happen is over the next few months is people are going to come in here, they're going to use this and they're going to be very successful and they're going to share what they've done with me and we'll together put together a report, a case study. Okay. And I got some case studies already, which we can share with you from, our early versions of this, but there'll be brand new case studies coming in. And if you want access to those, you need to make sure you enroll right now. And so that's going to be included. Okay. And you might be unsure if it's right for your specific situation. And so one other bonus that I'm going to include is a one-on-one coaching call with our team where we'll ask you a bunch of questions, understand your situation, and come up with a marketing plan or a plan on how to use this platform in your situation, whether it's for local businesses or, specific types of local businesses or specific types of businesses, whether it's for e-com, whether it's for affiliate marketing. We'll jump on a call with you for an hour and help you get that plan in place. So if you need to speak to us, we're there for you. So that's going to be included as well for the first 30 people. Okay? And so at some point with this, you might be thinking like, wow, this is cool. And now, I've got 5 clients, I've got 10 clients, and I want to really scale this up. And so we're going to be doing a live event in Barcelona. It's a beautiful city. I was actually out there with Ryan and Joe just recently, and we absolutely loved it. So I'm going back there, and you'll be invited, or you are invited as one of the first 30 people to get a free pass to the Amplifier live event. So this is a small event. It's not some big event, big room. It's a small event. It's an inner circle where we're going through the secret strategies that have been used by people in our community that I'm using, stuff which we haven't shared publicly, and you get that closer level of attention to scale. This will all be about scaling it to a big place. Okay. So if you're not sure you can make it, that's fine. We'll have the recordings for you if you're in that first 30 people. So here is everything that you get. So jump on through to the sales page, enroll now. And remember, what this does is saves you so much time in being able to produce campaigns and do all of this marketing for you, right? Without you having to do the work. You just need a few minutes just to fill in this 2-step form, right? So it's crazy. And you only have one life. You only have one life, right? And so if you lose money, you can always earn money back. But if you lose time, you can never get your time back. And so saving time, moving forward in life more quickly is so important. It's your time. It's very, very important. Okay, I always think about what's the fastest way I can do something so I can focus on the things that I really want to. And to remember, nothing I shared with you today is theory. I've used these exact strategies to build businesses over the years. You saw one of my case studies a little bit earlier. We use this in our own business right now. Our whole platform is based on this technology, on these strategies. And so I don't have any special skills or talents, right? I wasn't an amazing writer or anything like that in school. I just stuck to a proven system and I've refined it over the years. And if I can do it, then you can do it too. And it can give you the life, right? The freedom that you deserve. And so now is time for questions. So if you've got any questions, now is the time to type them into the chat box. And also, I think maybe I can answer some of these questions in the chat box while Brian and Joe, you jump in, because I think you've got some stuff you want to share, right?
Yeah, we definitely have some stuff that we want to share. So yeah, everybody want to be mindful of Chris's time, because Chris has officially launched the 100K shout out program, and it just went live like 13 minutes ago. Right? So Chris has places to be, and Brian and I definitely owe him a big favor, him jumping on last minute to help each and every one of you guys and bring everybody up to speed on the platform. So if you guys have any specific questions about the program, please do me a favor and put them in the chat right now. And I want to try to make sure that we get those answered real quick to respect Chris's time. And then Brian and I will kind of jump into our spiel, our bonus program, and really give you guys kind of our take on it and why we're so excited.
I love it, Joe. Yeah, I got one for Chris right here, Joe, from Scott Logan. Chris, Scott asks, how many campaigns a month would you do for a typical local client to achieve omnipresence, if you will?
Okay, so I mean, it depends. Like we've done one campaign and it's just blown a business up. So you can literally do just one campaign and it can be just so powerful for them that it blows them up. That's typically, less competitive niches. But what we recommend is one campaign a month for a local business. And then what happens is immediately you get them omnipresent. Like as soon as that is published, it takes a few days to publish, but as soon as it's published, that business is all over Google, all over the internet, right? And so the client is already like, wow, you put some work in. How did you do this in like such a short time, right? So they're immediately impressed. And then over time, that's going to build up and the rankings of the site, the traffic to the site is going to increase. And, within 1 to 6 months are in the 3-pack as well. Okay, so it's one campaign a month.
There you go. That's a good answer. A lot of people had that question, you guys. So I'm not going to read. I think everybody that had a similar question will call it. Joe, hang on. What about results? And I think you kind of answered this one indirectly, Chris. Patrick asked, what about results to provide something tangible to show them? It's going to vary once again based on the competition of that market, right? Because when I used the product the very first time, I saw initial results. I want to say 24 hours. It may have been 36. It was pretty rapid.
Yeah, and so like we've got a number of ways in which we like report to the client. So one is you have a report of like everywhere they're published and they're like, wow, this is cool. So that's one way. That's the way some people do it. Another way is we actually plan out ahead with the client and say, okay, this is what you've got. These are the services that you have. These are the locations that you want to be covered in. And here's your current level of exposure. Here's your current level of omnipresence or lack of omnipresence. And usually like we have this table and it just shows red, right, all over because they're just not seen anywhere. And we say, we're going to turn this from red to green and make sure for all the different locations and all the different services that you offer that you can be found. And so we report it that way. So each month they're actually seeing that increase. And so we go through in our training exactly how you can do that, put it together and everything else. And it works really well. Like that just keeps clients coming back and paying you month after month. And then, after 2, 3, 4 months, they trust you and you can go back to then quarterly reporting. And so literally you're spending like 30 minutes to an hour every 3 months with that client and that's it. And they're paying you $1,000 a month. It's crazy. It's like $500, $1,000 per hour every single month.
There's some comments about the checkout page loading. Guys, there's a lot of people on the webinar. I tested it on 2 different devices and it worked fine. Just give it a second. Don't fret. I don't want you to worry about it, but it does work. It's fine. Okay, so Joe, I'm looking for Chris questions before we
Yeah, somebody was asking if this would work for pay per call or pay per lead, and definitely, guys, this is being used in a local way, and we'll definitely talk about that in just a couple of minutes after Chris is kind of done and we answer all the questions for Chris, or that you guys have for Chris.
So I think Chris talked about this. A few of you asking about the ability to buy credits after you run out and stuff. That's all inside the system. Um, and I know he addressed that, but Scott up in Michigan, Scott said, Chris or Brian or Joe, how do we explain monetization for our clients? So Scott, I know you're in real estate. Think about the brand that you and your team have in Western Michigan. Think about the value of what you pay, Realtor.com, Zillow, all the various sites for leads. And a lot of those aren't even exclusive. So I think the value of the traffic, and then I'm going to pass to Joe, the value of the traffic is going to vary by the client. So in real estate, right, it comes down to what's the value of that stream of buyer and seller leads. What's the value of the credibility in the market, kind of being that dominant name found everywhere. Let me give you an example as a marketer, you guys. Who can name me one marketer that you feel like is everywhere? Best answer, first answer gets a prize. Let's see. One marketer you feel like he or she is everywhere. All right, Kurt said Neil Patel, Frank Kern. No, not us. All right, I'm gonna give Vanessa, grab first person Kurt. I'm gonna shoot you a gift card. Frank Kern. All right, Yoshi a gift card, and the other one I was looking, I'm gonna take Vita with Gary V. You three were right at the beginning. Think about that. You're on Instagram. Think about what Chris said about being everywhere. It's not as easy as you think anymore, right? Yet guys like that are dominating, right, the conversation. You know why? Because they're found everywhere. So Scott, you as an agent in Western Michigan, you want to be, when the word real estate agent comes up in, I'm going to make this up, Scott, Kalamazoo or Battle Creek, I want to know Scott with the two boys that dropped the push-ups on the boat, right? You want to be, anyway, Scott and I were on a trip recently. You want to have that brand in addition to the tactical lead generation that's going to come in. Man, there's a lot of them. Joe, I'm looking. Will you take the next one? I'm looking for questions Chris questions.
Yeah,
definitely. I got one from. Yep, go ahead, Joe. No, I got Wayne Porter. Chris, Wayne Porter saying, he said, so really all I need is, and he wants to make sure he understands it correctly, is to fill in the form, insert an image, and the software will do the behind the scenes heavy lifting, if you will.
Okay, sorry, I was just in the chat box here answering questions. Yes, so software is very simple. You fill in a few details about the website or the business that you want to promote. You upload a few images. That's optional, but the more images you give us, the better we can make the campaign. And then we just go ahead and handle all that for you. So the software, the team, it just all happens. So it's very, very simple. Like it literally takes just a couple of minutes and it's done. Now, we've literally just gone live like 10 minutes ago, and we've had a flood of people come through to check this out. And so a few of you are getting the page not loading. So the page just came up for me, but it took me like 2 or 3 tries before the page came up. Okay, so if you are having trouble, just refresh the page, try the link again to try and get in. Okay.
And I think it's where you are, Chris. And I know some of the people on the call are having no problems. I'm not having a problem, but others are. You guys, it's a massive onslaught. So if you give it a few minutes, it'll be fine. All right, Joe, what else? You guys, yes, we're going to do our bonuses and talk. We want to take any question from people on the call. If you got a Chris question, right, not a Brian and Joe question, lob in with QQQ right now so we don't miss you, because we only have a few more minutes with Chris, and then we're going to kind of switch gears on the whole presentation.
Yeah, and so Brian, I can stay in the chat and I can answer some questions for a little while. So if you do want to jump in and you want to,
yep, that's perfect.
I can just jump in the chat because there's a lot of questions coming through.
So guys, Chris is gonna answer privately. Joe and I are gonna kind of switch gears. So Chris knows put a QQQ in, you guys. There's literally a couple thousand comments and questions. Make it easy for him. QQQ so he answers your question, okay? And Joe, do you want to grab the screen? Hey, Chris, thank you, and tell Jay I said thank you also.
You're welcome, man. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, I'll grab the screen here real quick. Make presenter.
Welcome, Luis Ramirez. Welcome, Holly Cotter.
Yeah, fantastic. And guys, if you jump in, just let us know in the chat. We definitely want to see your names, see your faces, and welcome you guys into the program. And so, Brian, dude, let's do it. Let's talk to them about kind of what we envision for the program, why we believe in it, and kind of unveil for the first time the agency Fast Start that we've developed.
Yeah, guys, this is it's software. It's scalable. It has a 90% plus margin. It allows you to dominate for almost any local niche without a lot of the manual, tedious work that many of us have had to do. So, I mean, that's super attractive. I think another thing that both Joe and I were attracted to was the ability to have like a differentiator. It's completely different than other things that are out there. And it's the ability to show tangible results rapidly for a client. It's the ability to have that hard reporting, analytics, the kind of stuff that a client wants to see, especially when you want them to keep on paying. That's only on the front end, as we start to talk about it. We put together, somebody asked, what are the gaps? And I think, and I know they do it tongue in cheek, and I know that's common. What we wanted to do was put together complementary, augmenting kind of material to solve what we believe is always the biggest problem. And it's not any knock on the 100K Shoutout or software. It's a disconnect that happens with each of us. And Joe and I wanted to focus around that because at the end of the day, it's about, early we had a question, Joe, about monetization. And it's a good question because it really is, the whole game is about monetization. If you monetize and you can scale, then you win. That's the solution. If you can monetize and scale that, we know you can scale the back end, right? There's been a bunch of questions about scale that I see Chris answering, but we want to talk about scaling the front end. We want to talk about client acquisition and revenue and so forth. So, Joe, let's
Real quick, guys, does that make sense to everybody? Give me a 2 in the chat if that makes sense. Like, Chris did an amazing job sharing a fantastic presentation. I'm sure that you guys see the opportunity, but at the end of the day, like, we need to help you guys monetize this and monetize this quickly, right? And I don't believe that there's anybody in the space that's better suited to help you guys monetize this. I'm going to make a very bold statement than Brian and I. Give me a 1 in the chat if you believe that, right? Because I wholeheartedly believe it, or I wouldn't be saying this, right? And that's why we're here. That's what we think we can add on top of the crazy opportunity with 100K Shoutout. Does that make sense? Awesome, dude. All right. Sorry for the interruption, man.
No, that's good. No, I think it's what we want to talk about, guys. So let us tell you more about what we want to do to help make you successful. So we want to start out, we want to help you get clients. Now, we put initial client materials together in the niches you see on the screen. You're welcome to let me or Joe know what else you're doing, and we'll build campaigns in those niches. And why are we picking niches? At the end of the day, so Scott asked a question a minute ago. Real estate agents, right? And we spoke to that. Contractors, insurance, etc. We're looking for markets where you can be successful, where you can rapidly land clients and multiple clients. Doesn't mean you can't do any of dozens and dozens of different niches. These are just some we put together right out of the gate. So let me tell you a little bit more. Let's roll. There we go. So Chris talked about email templates and stuff. And now I will tell you, I see Doug Starks on the call. He was here at our live event last week. Email is driving a lot of revenue for my agency. I know Joe uses it as well.
Definitely.
At the end of the day, this is Somebody said it's the granddaddy last week, Joe, of marketing, and it is. It's a proven technology. I know I can send an email, and I will have a half a dozen to a dozen local businesses wanting more information. I can tee it up in matter of minutes, and then I can I can have that hit multiple times a week, keeping a steady flow, right, of inbound leads. Now, what we did is tested everything for you, because let's be real, it's only, email is great, but it's only as good as what you send. We need to know what subject line gets Scott, right? Scott, who's a realtor in Michigan, gets him to open. What subject line, what body gets Scott to reply and say, hey, I want to know more. Now, we took it a step further. We've been doing internal testing with our voice drop software. We've been doing the exact same thing over the phone. And so what we set up was not voice drops. Voice drops is great, but we set up a custom concierge service where you don't fill out a form. You can if you want, but you call in, you have an exclusive team member here, sometimes me, but it'll be one of our team, one of Nikki's team, exclusively in our office, that basically builds everything out for you and sends it. And then additionally, to Chris's point, we wanted to give you enough credits. Now, you're not going to do anything yourself. We're going to do it for you, but we wanted to power your inbound delivery for multiple months. We don't even want you to send the email. Our team will send all the emails for you. What's even better, you tell me what niche you want to work in. You don't need any software, scrapers, any of that. Our team will manually curate, manually build your target database. If you use Pipedrive, which is what we use, we will automatically load them into your Pipedrive for you. So we'll load all the leads in. Some of you are working with appointment setters, I saw. We will tee you up to be successful, not only via phone, not only via email, but we're going to do all the work for you. I don't want to make it hard. The goal is that you have targeted opportunities that you talk to. We want to, if you ever played t-ball with sports with your young children, we want to throw you lobs and let you take some swings. And honestly, Joe and I talked about it when I was down there a week or so ago. You're not going to be successful every time, but that's called being honest. If we tee you up you're not going to close 4 deals, but you're probably going to close 1. And then the goal is that we replicate that not only for you, but for the others that come on board. And we let you see the exact system that we do to tee up our own agency. Joe, what blew me away is when I had lunch with Joe the other day, and we talked about how rapidly he rebuilt his agency from 0 to 7 figures, doing this exact same model. Joe, I don't want to steal your thunder. Tell him how long it took you doing the exact same model.
Yeah, I spent about a month and a half just building a system, which you guys are going to basically be getting between 100K Shoutout for fulfillment, right? And then building the prospecting side, which Brian and I are going to be giving you guys. That took me about 6 weeks to figure out, to template out, to make sure that it worked, to test the emails and everything. And then 2.5 months after that, so 4 months total to build a 7-figure recurring business. So just over $84,000 a month in just 4 months. And really, guys, at the end of the day, that was 2.5 months of me prospecting. We're going to give you guys kind of the fast start as well. So there really are quite literally 0 excuses. Brian, do you see in here from Doug Starks, the comments about all the leads he's been getting because of the email marketing?
I didn't see it, but I know Doug. I actually was with him here last week. There's so many, I can't even find it in here, and I've been on a few webinars. I don't even see it. I believe you. I can't find it. I'm looking and looking, Doug. Do you want to share it with everybody so they see it, and then I'll probably see it when you share it.
I can't share it anymore. I don't know why it just went away. I think maybe Vanessa answered it or something, but basically from the event or since the event, there's just been a ton of opportunities that are coming in from email marketing. Essentially, is what he was saying.
No, and guys, he's exactly right. We literally can send emails tee them up one time and have a slew of inbound. And we talked about it last week for those, there's several of you that were here. At the end of the day, all you need, you're not going to get people begging you to buy, right? That's BS. But what we can do is give you interested prospects. And I don't care what CRM you use. I was just telling you guys the one I use. There was a bunch of comments about that. Doesn't matter. Use the one that you're going to use. The most important thing is that you use one, right? So at the end of the day, Doug's point about getting tons and tons of inbound inquiries, that's what you need. Because as you build your agency, you're not a one-to-one close. I'm not, Joe isn't, Chris isn't, nobody is. The goal is that you get 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5, even 1 out of 6, right? And so if you have, imagine you have 10 or 12 warm leads coming in a week. That's 2 deals. Imagine you do that week after week after week, depending on your niche and the price point, you scale really quickly to 6 figures. Now, the beauty is this back end infrastructure is really slick. I've used a version of this for a couple years. I've been fortunate, working with both Chris and Jay. Joe and I both have used the latest version now. It's cutting edge technology, right? And software is software. I think Chris said it best when he said it's about the strategy and the system. It's also about the software. Let's be real. What he has is amazing because it automates hours and hours. I know he quantified it on one of the training videos, but hours and hours of work. And I don't think you can touch that. I don't think anybody can begin to imagine how nice it is to literally 90% plus margin. Somebody asked about run rate. Run rate refers to, if you say it's a way to annualize your monthly revenue. So if you're doing, 5,000 a month, you're at 60,000, right? The goal is to ramp up, right? To ramp up your volume. What Joe did in just a very, very short while was build a 7-figure business, right? Based on run rate. And as he scales it out, it's only going to get bigger. Let's keep going. We got other stuff, you guys.
Yeah, 100%. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we need you guys to know that we're going to help you guys fill the pipeline. And then we're going to teach you guys exactly how we did it. And the goal is for you guys to just be able to step up, and we're going to lob you the softball for you to hit that grand slam.
So one of the biggest things we identified, Doug was here last week, and Doug, I'll just hit on this for you, my friend, is accountability. I think if we all were honest, the biggest roadblock to any of our success is not knowledge. It's forcing ourselves into doing the work, right? It is. It almost always is in anything, working out, fitness, health, nutrition, right? All those areas, it sure as heck is in business. So what Joe and I did is said, hey, how do we map something out so that we give you a little extra hand holding? And I likened it. I was having dinner with Joe and Allison, and I said, imagine teaching your son how to ride a bike, right? Imagine how much easier it would be if you held the seat, right, a few times until he got the balance and he got comfortable, versus just letting him do it on his own. Now, Joe's son probably could just quickly pick it up and do it on his own, but I liken having a little bit of help, having that regular support. Joe, I think the screen went away. Having a team behind you so that you're not alone. I know Chris talked about not going it alone. We agree. At the end of the day, all we need, all of us, is accountability. So I have accountability partner right now in my business that I meet with all the time, keeps me on track, makes sure that I'm focused on the number one task. If you're not doing the number one task each and every week, it's a colossal mistake, right? It is where everybody goes wrong because you get hung up in all the noise and not focused on your business. So what we're going to do is let you give us what you're doing, your campaigns. Hey, Brian, Joe, this is what I want to do. We're going to break them down. We're going to look at your results. We're going to give you input, help you tweak it, help you make it better. And then you can implement the new version. So it'll be myself, Joe, the entire group. And now this is more group, and I'm going to talk one-on-one in a minute. This is a way that all of us can learn from each other. But what we're going to do is take our experience and help tweak everything you have as you do it. Because when it's not working, you're going to get frustrated. We've done this. I've sent, I don't know, 500 million emails if I had to guess. I don't know. I made that up, but a hell of a lot. We sent a few million a month. You're going to see over time, you're going to understand exactly what we're doing. How do we fine tune the message? How do we, for a CPA, what message is going to get the response? What pitch? What package? How do we bundle it up? How do we augment the software packages so you can maximize revenue? And then how do we land a client? Think about the usual things: scarcity, fear of missing out, number of seats. Some people last week saw I used a line about two seats remain. I had a CPA emailing, is there any way I can get one of the two remaining seats? We're going to share all the things that work in our business, and we're not going to let you do it yourself. You're going to go with us each and every week on a regular basis. But the best part of it, we're going to take what you're doing and we're going to analyze it and we're going to help you. And at the same time, we're going to make sure that you're making forward progress each and every week and that you're not analysis paralysis, you're not becoming a distraction or focusing on other things. You have to monetize. Back to, I think it was Scott's original point. So we're going to keep your head in the game and where you need to be.
So I just wanted to welcome as well Francis Fillion. I see that you're in, brother. Welcome, Francis. And if anybody else jumped in, sure there's a bunch of you. Let us know in the chat as well. And I'm doing my best, Brian, just to keep up with the freaking chat. It is blowing up. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, we've all invested in something and our head wasn't there, right? And so what I want you guys to take away from that last slide is that Brian and I are going to help keep your head in the game. Right? When you are going to submit a presentation or an offer, or you're having, or you're getting ready to do your pitch for the first time, right? Think about the value of being able to have Brian or I look at that and provide you with some feedback, right? That's what you're going to get inside of that piece of the bonus. Make sense? So Peter, welcome as well. He said he joined, already. Welcome. All right, fantastic. Brian, there's a question in there from Monica that I'm not really sure how to answer. And so just keeping the ball moving, you guys are going to be able to follow along as we walk through real deals, right? And so we're going to keep you accountable. Brian and I are going to keep you accountable to your commitment. And folks, at the end of the day, I think that that's one of the biggest pieces is you guys need an accountability partner. Without that, we just let ourselves off the hook. And ultimately it becomes very, very hard to get a return on our investment. So the ultimate goal of the entire bonus package, I want you guys to understand, is to get real value from your investment in the 100K shout out, right? Let the service pay for itself, and then obviously so much more, so that you guys can grow your business, you can grow your customer base, and you can grow your paycheck and ultimately succeed. Give me a 3 if that just makes sense to everybody, right? Like, we're not here to distract you. We want to make sure that you guys do what you are intending to do and give you guys all the support that you need and all the accountability that you need to actually get real value from your investment. If we can do that, Brian and I know that this is going to be a win for us, and it's going to be a win for you guys as well.
Hey, Joe, good question from Trevor. Trevor said, Brian, do I need to complete everything you and Joe are talking about before I get started? No. What we're talking about, Trevor, is being there each step along the way from an implementation standpoint. This isn't something that you're going to go through for 8 weeks and then start. This is something you're going to start right away, and we're going to be parallel with you, if you will, along the same path, helping and tweaking and augmenting as you go.
100%. Don't wait for us. Get in action right away, right? Like, enroll today, jump in, understand what's happening in there, and start simply just having conversations with people about the opportunity and about the offer. And I bet before we even officially kick off, you'll probably have already closed a deal or two.
Hey, quick welcome to Scott and my friend Scott. So welcome, Yoshi. The answer to your question is yes, we'd be happy to. I wrote you back privately, but I wanted to make sure you saw it. Okay, so we created messenger bots. We're doing a lot in the quantum. So our entire team will be here to support you during this process. We've got custom emails to help you land clients, tested scripts, even pre-built ads for Facebook. And we'll just flip through these because we want to get to more of the crown jewels. But somebody asked about network marketing, so we threw this up. What else? Healthcare, same thing. We're going to give you all the campaigns we use. HVAC, you guys know my brother has a business in Florida, so I do a lot. Insurance, every year, the third and fourth quarter start to get good for health insurance. We've got everything you need to be ready to go. Insurance on a P&C side, that's your home, your car, right? The traditional insurance, same thing. All these guys have to stand out in a sea of competition. It comes down to leads, it comes down to branding, and it comes out to being everywhere. Plumbing, same thing. I've struggled with that niche before. You know what? You know what plumbing needs? They need to build that omnipresence that Chris talked about. They need to build mindshare because this is one that's a little different. You want to rank them, right? Because when you have a plumbing problem and can I say the shit's hitting the fan, Joe? I guess I can, right? Seems reasonable. When you have this problem, it happened to me a year or so ago on a Friday or Saturday night. The main drain line to my house came in. Was having an issue. Tree roots had penetrated the drain line. I had to have a company come out, dig my front yard up over 100 and something feet of digging in my yard and replace this line over the weekend. Guess how I found them? Yes, Google, right? Google. Makes total sense to Chris's point earlier.
So one of the things that I want to make sure that we discuss, just so we don't forget that Brian, you and I have talked a lot about, is that there's niches that we think that this is a home run for. And to be honest, there's niches that it could work for, but is probably not the best for. Right? Let's just be honest. And so inside, we want to make sure that we're giving you guys feedback on the niches and the verticals that you guys are deciding to go after. And I'll give you guys a quick little freebie, right? Right here, right now. We just talked about HVAC. One of the big problems with HVAC businesses is HVAC businesses want new installs, right? Or change outs or retrofits. That takes the average customer value from being $100, right, to the transaction, just the individual transaction for a change out to be $8,000, $10,000, $15,000, right? And so this program is going to be very, very important for things like change outs in HVAC, because what happens is that's a longer buying cycle, and becoming the dominant kind of omnipresent company in the space and in the industry is how you're going to end up getting a bunch of change outs and these big ticket sales ultimately for niches like HVAC, right? You got to go above and beyond, and you got to be omnipresent. That's what's going to get you these deals. Does that make sense, Brian?
Total sense. Trevor had a good comment. I've got a mortgage company. Would a cash out refinance type campaign in the state or region I'm licensed work? Absolutely. Think about it. Think about this, Trevor. What if somebody's looking, and I know this isn't as common anymore, but I used to do a lot of lead gen work in this area. What about non-owner occupied cash out refis, right? What about all the various options? We can show you how to maximize that. But no, that would absolutely work, and that's an example of a good niche. Real estate as well. I know Scott jumped on board. Same thing. There are a million, Scott, how many? A million or 2 million? I think it's almost 2 million agents in the U.S. Roofers. When you have an issue with your roof, you have an issue. None of us are fixing our own roofs and replacing our own roofs. Same thing. We got a lot of members that do hair salons, so we put some time into this. This is one of those niches you don't often think about. You guys, I had no idea the cost of a lot of these services. It's actually for the best. I can't imagine paying this amount, but people pay all these amounts for various treatments. This is a big one as well. We've got lots of them. And if you say, hey, Brian, Joe, I really want to work funeral homes, this is what we're going to do for you. We will commit. I will do it. I know Joe will help me. We will customize a campaign for the niche you're looking for. But if it's not a good niche, we're going to tell you on the front end so you don't waste any of your time. So we talked about the 8-week implementation support to help you get clients. I haven't mentioned this one. some of the people in Quantum Chat have our messenger bot for your agency. We've expanded the agency bot recently, the last few weeks. I'm going to make sure my Quantum Chat members have it, but for everybody else, you got to have a messenger bot for your agency. It is a no-brainer. You must do this. I promise you. I got 3,000 or 4,000 people that would shake their hands at you. You got to do that. Now, Joe, talk about the next one. The third point on that screen, guys, is we've talked about group. Sometimes, let's be real. Sometimes you need hand-holding specifically about your use case, and you just need a few minutes to talk.
I think it's not just that, Brian, but the other side of it is like just seeing people that are doing shit, right? And getting motivated by that. Like that guy just really went and crushed it and did that deal. Like you're like sizing yourself up next to him and you're like, well, if he can do it, I can do it. Right? Like that type of environment, I believe, is what you need. And ultimately to make the biggest and best ROI from your investment inside of the program.
All right. So we also, we just did an event. I've been doing a lot of these smaller workshop boot camp kind of events. Joe does the same thing. We said we can build an event like no other. Scott and others that went to Cozumel with us, how we did that capstone training. Joe and I wanted to build an event that ties all of this together. Everything we're doing ties amplifier in, ties landing clients, ties email, voice drops, ties pay-per call, everything together. We're going to do it live in West Palm Beach, Florida. How do you like that? Now, I'd like, Joe, how far do you live from that picture? Jesus, man.
So this is about 10 minutes from me. I live on the intercoastal. I live about 10 minutes from the beach. But like I can be on the water, like the water's like right across the street, the intercoastal. So
guys,
this is my backyard basically. This is what I play in each and every day. And so everybody that enrolls, you guys are getting a ticket to come to the event plus a guest, so you can bring your spouse, your business partner, your significant other, and we're going to show you guys West Palm Beach like you've never seen it before, even if you've been here before. And we're going to make the most out of the event. Like this isn't going to be something where you sit for 2 days and like you walk away with 100 great ideas, but you don't get anything done. Like we've all been to those events and then we get home and life just carries on like normal. So that's not this. Like this is going to be workshop style, implementation style to really help you guys again, just like the rest of the bonus package. We want to make sure that you guys get a great return on investment from the 100K shout out. And I know, Brian, you've done this at events. We've done it certainly at events. I think our last event that we did this at, we generated over 1,200 inbound phone calls from people, right, that were looking for marketing services.
Yeah, Joe, I mean, you guys, a real world practical event. The last one we did where we had, I don't know, I can't see, there's a lot of names here. We generated I don't know how many exact calls came in, but we closed enough deals. It was a $250,000+ annual run rate at 10,000 a deal, right? Over the year, it was unbelievable. People that had never closed business. You know why? They weren't willing to do the work alone. It's kind of like when you go to the gym and you spend most of the time at the water fountain and walking around. And when you're with the trainer, what do? You work out. When you're at the event, you're working on your business and building your business. While you will network, while you will build relationships and make friends, you're also going to build your business. And that's the goal.
100%. So just to be clear, because I've seen the question already a couple of times, we're going to actually include a ticket for you and for a guest. All right. So just so that you see that, Yoshi and Brian and Larry. All right. Fantastic.
Irina, and then Brian. Irina, yep. Same thing. Irina for you. Greg Sparks just asked, Brian or Joe, would this work for an accountant, bookkeeper, tax preparer? I love accounting CPA niche right now, Greg. So the answer is yes. Absolutely. Matter of fact, it's one of my favorite niches. We can talk about it later, but an overwhelming yes to your question.
I'm actually just getting ready to kick off a big marketing campaign to accountants. So I'll keep you in on kind of what's working for me in terms of the prospecting side for accountants. And Brian, would love on one of these calls to pick your brain a little bit about what's worked best in terms of messaging and offer on the accountant side as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So
So
I Brian, how do I pronounce your name? Is it Joe? Brian? Brian? It's not Brian. It's got to be
I think
Brian.
it's Brian.
Okay, I'm making sure. Welcome to Brian. I wanted to give a shout out.
All right. So,
Oh,
Brian, can we
bring on.
talk about
Okay.
real quick the third bullet point? Because, like, I don't think people really get that there's personalized one-on-one help.
Yeah. So let me talk about that, guys. So I shifted my model. I now come to work at 7 a.m. Just because
Joe Troyer timeline.
Joe Troyer time. I was a 9:30 guy before, right? So I come super early for me, and I usually dedicate time several days throughout the week. I do one-on-one calls and I help people. Somebody asked me if I do coaching. I do not. I don't have time. I don't do any kind of, and people at my live event, we didn't sell a mastermind. We don't do coaching. At the end of the day, though, we want to make you successful. So I'm going to have all kind of one-on-one times available, and you're going to be able to reach out to Joe and I. You're going to reach out not through a form. You're going to reach out directly on the phone. You can email if you want, but you're welcome to call. You're going to have private access, backdoor into our team. You're going to be able to set up windows where you can get the real help you need. It's not a gap with the software that somebody asked about. You know what it is? It's a way to augment and increase your success. When I need help on something, if Joe can help me, I call Joe on the phone. I don't fill a form out. And you know what? I get that help. When I need help, I call Chris. That's what we want to give you. We want to give you the same quote unquote privileged access to kind of short circuit, right? No. Somebody just said that. No. You know what we're going to do is we're going to give you our secrets to get out of the gate. At the end of the day, Joe on search, some of the stuff he's doing on search and ranking and on pay per call, it's sick. But what if you had something specific you didn't want everybody else to know? I can't tell you how often that comes up. And you just wanted a second or two to ask a question. It'd be nice to be able to do that. Last time I did this for real, we charged 20 and 25,000 annually for monthly access. We want to make this available to get you out the door, get you successful, get you working right now. The goal is to help you ride the bike, right? And then at some point, we're going to give you a push and you're going to be riding the bike or running your business on your own. But why should you do the initial stuff by yourself? We've done it a bunch of times. We've got this thing down. Let us help you. So, and it is one-on-one. That doesn't mean four of you in one. That means one and one. So I want to be real clear about that. Yep. Somebody just asked, I have no experience with the bot. So this is what you're going to get. If you come on board, you're going to get concierge, Brian, you're going to get concierge access. So we're going to set up and do everything for you, Brian, but we're also going to explain it to you so that you understand it. So we're happy to help you on that. All right. So somebody just said, Joe, let me check something. Will you take the next question? I need to check something really quick.
Yeah. I think that somebody was saying that they had an issue with the link. I just want to let you know, I just went there and it's working for me. But
Yeah, me
if
too.
it doesn't work for you, just hit the link a couple of times. It will work.
And I think a lot of it seems to be location dependent. Like for whatever the reason is, it's working fine the whole time here. And I know other people have had challenges. Just know they've got a lot of people involved, and I'm sure it's getting a lot of traffic, right? So,
Trying to find other questions. Everybody's just like, holy crap on all
oh,
the bonus.
I see one from Vlad. Joe, Vlad asks, what does it mean done for you email delivery? So Vlad, what I mean is we will actually send the messages and the replies will come into you. We're really good at sending email. You may be good at it, and if so, you don't need it. But if you want a little bit of help and you want to reach out with compliant targeted email, we can help you with that. And not only will we help you, Vlad, we'll send the emails and the interested parties, the replies will come back to you directly.
Holly Cotter is asking for the dates for the Florida event. So Holly, we don't have them yet. I just reached out to our hotel contact. I'm trying to book it at my normal spot that I book all of our events at. Absolutely amazing hotel. And what I'm going to do as soon as we get the available dates back and we wrap up the promo for 100K shout out, we'll throw them in a little like survey option so that you guys and everybody gets to pick and vote on what dates work best. And that's how we'll pick the actual date and times, right? So that it works for everybody. So Holly says, when does the 8-week workshop start? Yeah, so it's going to start Brian, we had that written down. Do you have it in front of you by chance?
I do. Let me find it. It's going to start after the launch. We'll send it out to everybody. So if you join today, there'll be a little bit of a lag because we want to start at the end of the launch. We don't want to start now because then we'll have everybody else coming in behind and it gets a little messy. I don't have it, Joe. I'm trying to find it.
Brian says, so many people are joining. If so many people are joining 100K shout out, will this get oversaturated? At the end of the day, Brian, no, right? Like, I don't believe it will, because if you look at all the businesses in the United States, right, and how many are being started just at any given time, and this is just in the States, right? You think about all the niches and all the verticals, there's unlimited opportunity, really. I mean, it's crazy. You think about, just how many locations in the United States have over 50,000 people. Then you think about 30, 40, 50 verticals times that many cities. I mean, it's ridiculous.
And then you start going global because it doesn't matter where you live. You've got people all over Europe doing it. We got people in Asia. We've got Australia. It doesn't matter. We've got people all over the world. It's the most commonly asked question. And I used to wonder the same thing, but I now know over almost 20 odd years, the answer is no. So, hey, here's a question about log-on credentials. You're going to get log-on from 100K Shoutout and Amplifier directly. We are going to get a list of everybody that signs up, right? When we get that list, here's what's going to happen. You're going to get access to a members area, which will store all the information, all the calls, all the material. You will get that directly from one of our team, and we'll make sure you know about it. We'll reach out to you. If need be, we'll reach out to you personally with the call. We'll make sure you're connected and plugged in, so you don't have to worry about it. No, thank you, Brian. Yeah, and there are a lot of people doing it. It's a good question. Somebody said people doing it that aren't in local. There's a lot, it's Chris used the phrase blue ocean, right? It's a big, big ocean. Local, we're one part of the ocean, so to speak. Joe and I think it's one of the more lucrative areas. I know tons and tons of affiliate marketers that don't do, they make very little, $50, $100 a month. You know what? The local guys that have clients, they all make significantly more than the equivalent affiliate marketer. At the end of the day, this is conveniently, think about this. Chris and Jay's core business is local. Doesn't mean they don't do affiliate. They do. He showed you some results. I believe he showed you 80,000 in revenue, right? For the year. I promise you, having been to his offices in London, they are doing a lot more than 80,000 a year in local, guaranteed. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. I can't imagine what it must cost for that office space, but.
Let's see here. Don has a good question. He says, Brian, this is not a shiny object, is it? I personally, I'll answer this and then Brian feel free to. So I don't think it is. Like for me, this is a local SEO play. And I've built my business and businesses, several businesses with multiple exits all on Don Jones, the local SEO play, right? Like in that market. And so for me, this is just that same vein, in that same niche, just with a whole lot more leverage, right, on the fulfillment because of the 100K shout out software and program. Does that make sense, Don? So for me, this is not a shiny object at all. Right? If you're trying to grow an agency right now, I don't think that this is a shiny object at all.
Yeah, this is Don, at the end of the day, or I don't know if it's Mona or Don, but at the end of the day, it's a software package. It's a platform from a company that's been around and isn't going anywhere. They've done north of 8 figures in revenue, and they're just growing. So, fortunately, most of the time when you see shiny objects, they're $27, $37 and they're not supported for a few days. I can tell you that I've been working on various versions of this platform for almost 5 years. So this is just a continued evolution of a system they're building and building. Mario agreed with Joe and I on saturation. He's just like, I just don't think it's an issue. There's just so many businesses, you'd be surprised. Let's see. Yeah, 78. Holly said 78,000 a year from an affiliate product. So Ron asked a question, and we might have to get back to you, Ron, or I'll defer to Joe right now in terms of live streaming if they're unable to attend, Joe. Or we do have a good videographer that Joe uses down there. How have you played that in the past, Joe?
Yeah, I've never actually done the live stream personally. Ron, I can say that I can look into it. I have a videographer that typically records the events, Ron, and we can definitely have him show up. His name's Kenrick. But I don't know, I guess, how the live stream piece of it works. I mean, there's some type of software and hardware, but we can definitely look into that, Ron.
Good question. All right, if we're missing anybody's questions right now, because there's so many people here and there are lots of, funny comments and back and forth, give us a QQQ right now, and we're going to move towards answering those, and we're going to wrap up so we can get a good recording. So let us know what we're missing, and we'll answer them together, Joe and I, right now. But we need to make sure we find them and we don't miss anybody. Let's see. Quentin, I would watch the replay. I think the answer to your questions, sir, is yes, but I would recommend watching the replay. I don't want to push you. I think this is something you need to watch, honestly. Let's see. No, thank you, Peter. Peter Sangster as well. Yeah, so my results, Mark Benda, I'm getting results in rankings in less than 3 days. Like I said earlier, I have a bunch of good results in 3 niches right now, and including and affiliate, so 3+ affiliate. So yeah, good point from Holly, and we wanted it to make it like this. So in essence, you're getting 2 programs for the price of 1. We want to give you what's often missing in all programs, which is accountability, implementation, help, and support. We want to give you the strategy, the one-on-one. We want to give you the nurturing and care it takes to kind of go from wherever you may be right now to that next step. And a lot of you are already doing 6 figures. The whole point is to kind of get you to the next step, and your step may be different than the next person's. I don't remember, Rich, what that specific example was, Rich G. I want to say it was either an Australia. I think it was an Australian business that he mentioned, Rich. Let's see. Okay.
Scott Logan says, would this be a good foot in the door offer for pay per call? Yes. So one of the biggest misconceptions for those of you guys that are interested in like pay per lead or pay per call is selling that as your foot in the door product. Like selling pay per call is not great, actually, right? Because you don't know the customer from Adam, and they're just skipping all of the technical things and going straight to the best thing since sliced bread, which is paying only for results. You have no way to judge and see if they're going to be a good customer or not. So one of the things that I've done lately is I'm actually putting in foot in the door products in front of my pay per lead or pay per call offers so that I can understand, is this client going to be a good customer? Right? Before I get them into kind of more my core offer, which a lot of times is like a pay per lead type of deal or a much more high end, higher recurring type of deal. So definitely I think that this would be a great foot in the door offer for anything, Scott, really.
I love it. Here's a good comment, a good question from David Day. What if a client stops paying us? Well, the nice thing is we'll talk to you about how to minimize attrition, David. It does happen, right? But you're not going to be able to remove the work product you've already done for them. You'll just stop doing future work for them. Now, if you're doing a lease site model, then that's another matter, and you'd be able to pull it completely. So we can talk you through either option. Yeah,
We can definitely talk about some strategies though on how to leverage that, right? Like what's the downsell? What's the client save technique? How do you turn that person from a negative and them not buying from you anymore to turning them into a glowing review, right? Like how can you leverage that and still get a win out of it? I think at the end of the day, a lot of people take like client cancellations, like it's just like this, oh crap moment. And they don't even try to save the campaign. So like please bring that up on one of the bonus calls, either with myself or with Brian. And I'm sure we can help you guys map out some big wins from that. I've done some really cool things, especially in my last business that I exited.
yes, that's actually a good comment. Somebody asked earlier, Joe, about exiting out. I can share a lot of stuff that I learned from flubbing my first exit, and then one that went a little better, and I can share some of that. I know Joe can as well. For those of you that are getting older, like well, at least I am, and Joe's still pretty dang young. But at the end of the day, for those of you that want to walk away and sell and build and sell, we can actually speak to that, give you some tangible examples, and talk. And one of the most important things we can tell you is some of the things not to do. I can definitely tell you some big mistakes I made.
I think a lot of things that we can share as well is like how do you structure it from the get go? And looking back, like every time that I've had an exit, or even just sold to a partner, I've looked at it and went, crap, I did that wrong again. Like I thought I finally had it. So definitely a lot of good feedback there that we can share with you guys.
All right, we're going to take any last questions, you guys, and then we'll wrap this up. Bill, we'll write you back, Bill Marks, on that. It'll vary based on how you kind of structure that, the type of niches, etc. Um, you could do them either way, Trevor. I would blend the two together. Yeah, here's an interesting question from Mark. How custom is the video or blog post? Is it there to get Google's attention or help my client? I will tell you, I'm kind of a stickler. I hate that spammy content. And one of the ones I just filled a form out myself on one was pretty darn good, Mark. So I think the answer is yes to get attention, but it will help your client. And depending on how you fill the form out, you're going to get better results. Yeah, Mark, I can talk to you about that on the appointment setters for sure. Um, is 35 a month enough? Yeah, Scott, let me say this. 30, if you have 35 campaigns going enough, you're crushing it, Scott, a month. For real. And if that's the case, um, you can, there's credit packages, there's all kinds of options. You can pre-buy, you can do recurring, you can do one-off, etc. So the answer is yes. All right.
I think
Joe,
that's
I
it, man.
think we hit them, you guys. For everybody here, thank you. I know it was early.
So Brian and Joe, I've been answering chats.
Oh, Chris, we didn't know you were there.
I'm still here. I've been in the background. We had a bunch of people come through. We had like server issues for just a few minutes. The tech guys were on it within like 2 minutes. Everything was back up. But a couple of people saw that the page was down or something was wrong. So a few people asked me, they wanted to just quickly see like what the results like look like, what these things look like when they're published. So if you want to shoot the screen back to me, I'll just take 2 minutes to cover that, and then we'll close out.
Let's do it. Hang on. We'll flip the screen over to Chris. Connect.
There we go. I got you, Chris.
Got him. Good deal.
Awesome, awesome. All right, okay. So first, let me grab a little picture here. So this is just a few screenshots of some of the places that you end up being published. So it's like quite a big image here. But you can see Fox 34, Daily Herald. You've got stuff on Facebook. You've got stuff on ABC6. I haven't got the screenshot of USA Today in this one, but you've got video on YouTube. Another major news site. You've got the SlideShare up on here. You've got a blog down here. You've got Vimeo over here. Another blog with the video in over here. So like this is just putting you just in all loads and loads of different places to have a look at what the video looks like. Here's a quick little video. this is an example of the type of video that can be made. You can see this one here. This isn't a local one because we do like a variety of different things with the platform. But this one right here has got, without any promotion, 6,500 views just because it's like a bit of an interesting video. I don't think it's the greatest video. We just did it as like playing around, just a little example to show things. But it shows that, you know, if you make a good video, it can spread. So let me just play this here. It will be jerky on screen because I'm playing it through GoToWebinar, but the video, of course, is very smooth. The sound won't sound great because, you know, I'm playing this live. But if you were to go to the actual video and see this, you would, you know, 100% see that it's super smooth and looks awesome.
10 curious facts about India. More than half of the Indian population is under the age of 25.
Wow.
Killing a cow is considered to be a felony and can result in jail if it's not by accident. India has at least 454 actively spoken languages.
So there you go. I won't play the whole thing, but that gives you the idea here of what this looks like. You know, and we've done campaigns actually for our amplifier launch. So we're just targeting all sorts of different keywords, long tail keywords and stuff like this. We're actually pretty late getting started. We wanted to do it earlier, but like we're still like just got traffic like coming all over from lots of different things. So let me just show you the USA Today one because that wasn't in the screenshot. So you can see here, this is the article up here on USA Today, right? And again, just nice simple article promoting our own products. So like if you search for 100K shout out price, you know, you're going to see like all of our content and stuff come up. So we use this ourselves. We use this in lots of cases. Here's you know, one of the podcasts. So if I play this right here,
Chris Munch announced the launch of a professional digital marketing.
So we've got a few different voices. I don't like this voice. It doesn't sound as good. The one you heard in this video is the one like we prefer to use because it sounds a lot more realistic. So all this stuff is all made like just for you, just like 3 minutes, boom. All of this is out there, literally like hundreds and hundreds of pieces of content all across the net. So yeah, it's just super powerful. And just look, I just want to say, guys, just like loads of intelligent questions coming in. You've got a great audience, Brian, that's going to be incredibly successful with this. And I'm quite busy during lunch, so I was only catching like bits of the bonus that you're giving away. But I looked on screen, it's like, wow. It's like, can I get this bonus too, Brian? Because I want to use some of this stuff. It's awesome. We can use this.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, thank you, Chris, and obviously we'll do anything for you guys. So Chris answered looks like hundreds of questions, or Chris and team, I'm not sure, but thanks to anybody involved on the back end from Chris's team here. Joe and I tried to take every relevant question that came in, and a few non-relevant ones. We did our best, and a few of you we asked you to email or message us directly. So Joe, I'm looking right now. I think we've
Yeah, I think we're good.
I think we're good. I think we're really good, and we'll get back. There's a few of you we're going to write back personally, and looks like we've. Thank you to Holly. There's so many of you that came on board. We want to say thank you to everybody. But what's exciting is that it really is a team effort from an implementation standpoint. I prefer that. I like that. I know Joe does. We're gonna help you. There's a lot of satisfaction in seeing somebody that hasn't gotten a client get a client. I promise you. It's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling. Somebody asked, besides making a commission, why would you guys even do this? There was a guy earlier that asked that, and I wrote him back honestly. It feels good to help other people. It does. It makes you feel better about yourself, and it's rewarding in a way that it's hard to quantify. I already make more money than I really need. I save, for the most part. But you know what's enjoyable? Helping other people get off the ground. Joe and I had burgers, what would you call that? Keto-friendly burgers the other day at this local place near his office. And we're talking about it. At the end of the day, there are so many people that all of us work with that could be successful. A lot of them, they doubt themselves. They're not willing to take the first step. A lot of it is mindset. It's failure to launch. It's failure to take action. So rather than let you do it alone, just go through it with us, walk with us. And I think you'll be surprised. It's not us making you great. You're already great. Sometimes you just need an extra hand there to help. And we hope we can do that. That's all.
100%. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for spending the last 2 hours with us, joining us for the earliest webinar I've ever done, 10 a.m. Eastern. But I think at the end of the day, the big important thing is that, like, at the end of the day, we all need clarity, right? And I think that's what you're going to get inside of our bonus package, right? So once you have clarity, then you're going to have a level of certainty. And then once you get the certainty, you're going to have the confidence, right? And then once you have the confidence, you guys will actually be able to succeed in the marketplace. And so the whole bonus package and our implementation is to help you guys just do just that, and really break through with the program. So I'm super excited. This is kind of the kickoff, so to speak. And I'm excited for really the next 9 or 10 weeks here, as we start up the group implementation program. So excited to be working one-on-one and in a group with so many of you guys over the next 8 or 10 weeks.
I love it. Thanks, everybody. Chris, thank you to you, Jay, and your entire team. Everybody else for being here. Thank you, guys. We'll obviously be in touch with so many of you. So talk soon. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Joe. And just to remind you guys, that the bonuses that we offered, so, the extra credits, the 35 credits instead of the 30, and these other 3 bonuses, that for the first 30 people that join during the webinar today. So make sure, if you want to look those in, you go in there now. Okay.
That is such a good point. Guys, I didn't bring it up again. I had forgotten. Chris extended special bonuses only available on this call. If you don't want to miss it, jump on board. We've had a lot of people come on board. I honestly don't know how many. I can't tell you guys right now. But if you don't want to miss out, credits are valuable. They have a real impact. You can monetize them, back to Scott earlier. So if you know you're going to do it, take the extra credits. I can't guarantee that Chris will give me extra credits in 3 or 4 days. I don't really know. So take advantage of that while he was here and while he did this webinar with us. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.